The need in West Africa is staggering. Nearly 235 million people live day to day looking for hope. Hope that can only be found in Jesus Christ. Jim and Denise Arnold have partnered with Independent Gospel Missions to bring the light of the gospel of Jesus Christ to this desperately needy part of the world. The Arnolds feel that the best way to reach the people of West Africa is through their own churches with national pastors. They have teamed with many good men in 7 West African nations to help them reach their own people for Christ. The Arnolds serve the Lord by working with and for the African church planter. Along with ongoing training, we assist him by providing many tools that he can neither afford nor access, such as tracts, scriptures, Bible studies, hymnals, commentaries, and other pastoral study aids, all difficult to find in the French and tribal languages. As the Lord allows, we also help with land purchases and construction costs. Finally, we assist him with youth ministries so vitally important in countries where the population's average age is 18 to 25. The Arnolds also help the American missionary. We provide missionaries with some of the materials necessary to run their Bible Institute. We also help them in raising funds towards special projects such as church buildings and vehicles. Thirdly, the Arnolds help supporting churches in the U.S. They provide churches already invested with African church planters with updates and financial and doctrinal accountability they require as partners in ministry. Finally, they encourage mission-minded churches in the U.S. They provide churches with many opportunities to be active in missions by hosting both short-term mission trips to Africa and national pastor visits to interested churches in the United States. This question is often asked and has both a biblical and a practical answer. Biblically speaking, we realize that the Great Commission was a charge meant to be passed on to all believers as the gospel was proclaimed around the world. It is how the Apostle Paul worked. We therefore believe this to include Africans planting churches in West Africa. Practically speaking, we realize that our time is short and that we cannot reach all of West Africa on our own. It would be presumptuous and even unbiblical of us to try. We must, therefore, use all effective means available. This has led us to a mission strategy that includes working with and assisting select African men that share our doctrinal position and vision, since there are African men of integrity already at work. The French and tribal languages pose few barriers. Africans help us to grasp the mindset of the people. Africans will often be more effective than foreigners at reaching their own people for Christ. They are already adapted to the climate and the culture. The African worker does not leave West Africa to go home. If the doors ever close to foreign missions, well-trained Africans will be able to carry on the work of the ministry there by themselves. God is already fulfilling this vision of seeing national pastors reach West Africa with the gospel. But the need is still great, and it is still growing, and the time for action is now. Will you stand behind the Arnolds as they seek to expand their ministry into more West African nations? Will you pray that God will provide for their many needs as they seek to train and equip these national pastors for the work of the ministry? Will you prayerfully consider adding the Arnolds as one of your missionary families? We have the responsibility of reaching the whole world with the gospel. What part will you have?